Kira was a highly educated working woman, earning big bucks in a promising job. She had crossed 30 years of age, so her parents were pressurizing her to get married. Too busy making money and growing her career, she had not time for love. But, when one day, her parents forced her to meet Amit over dinner, she could not refuse them. They got along like a house on fire, and before he realized it, he had proposed to her. She accepted, and their parents got them married without any delay. Amit was working in an IT firm, and he got an opportunity to relocate to the US immediately after marriage. Being on a dependent visa, Kira could not work. The first few days of matrimony felt like bliss. She had not expected Amit to be as romantic as he was. She could not stop singing praises of Amit to her parents and friends. Slowly days turned to weeks and then months. About a month before their first anniversary, Kira met one of her ex-office colleagues in a local shop and both got talking about old times. She felt elated to discuss work, and just as they were about to exchange numbers and bid goodbye, her colleague said,
Kira, I cannot imagine you sitting at home and not working. I had imagined you to be heading some vertical, but you look happy, and so I am happy for you.
They exchanged numbers and parted ways. Kira was pulled out of her dream world that day. That night, she couldn't sleep. She suddenly felt the urge to go back to work. Finally, she approached the topic of going back to work with her husband. His standard response was about a lack of work visa. She didn't have a rebuttal. Going back to work had suddenly become a validation of her abilities, validation from others, and more self-validation. It mattered more to her that she worked than it probably mattered to anyone else. In a few months, she spoke about shifting geographies or if they could move back to India for her to resume work, but each time she mentioned this topic, it was met with silence. Amit could not understand why Kira was suddenly so obsessed with work and what he could do to help her. He started remaining aloof, and he started spending more time at work. Her frustration levels increased, and one day she decided to go back to India on a vacation. The day Amit heard that, he sulked the entire night, and then in the morning she woke up to a burning sensation in her hands. He had poured piping hot tea on her hands. He then rushed her to the hospital and said that it was an accident. Kira did not know what to say and agreed. She wondered why she could not muster up enough courage to tell the truth, but she couldn't understand herself. Once back at home, Amit's mental and physical abuse increased. He wanted her to be a housewife. He said so in many words. Amit did not want her to go back to work or move to any other visa or geography. He took away her passport and access to the phone too. Slowly, she realized she was going insane and mentally weaker by the day. She was not able to identify with the self she was a few years back. Amit's abuse worsened with every passing week. On some days, he could come home, hit her with a belt, and leave her alone at home to go out with his friends. Kira started justifying this behavior of his by blaming herself for wanting to work. By their third anniversary, Kira was a wreck and a shadow of her former self. 2 days before their third anniversary, she decided to buy a bottle of sleeping pills and end her life. She sneaked out to buy sleeping pills or anything else that she could get over the counter. Kira just wanted to end her life as she could not see Amit's ugly side. But destiny plays a huge role in our lives. Kira ran into the same ex-colleague, this time at a pharmacy. One look at her and she forced her to come with her to the Indian embassy. The local police was involved, and within days she was deported to India. It was not as easy as it sounds here. Today, Kira is back in India. She needs help to see herself the way she was before. Legal cases are running and lawyers are trying to get her out of her marital relationship. Doctors are trying their best to get the physical trauma of 3 years, but the emotional scars run very deep and will take many years to heal. Who knows whether they will go in this lifetime or not? Sadly, there are many Kiras around us and no one knows them. Could you spot the Kira in the lady who passed you today morning on your way to work? Probably she may be another victim.